the ancient town of Eldoria, a peculiar rivalry had taken the town by storm. It all began with a simple debate at the local tavern, where townsfolk argued over who was more formidable, the valiant knights or the cunning gnomes. What started as a friendly discussion turned into a heated argument and quickly escalated into the 1,000-year war, and hate for one another swept through Eldoria like wildfire. The war raged for as long as anyone could remember. The knights and the gnomes were locked in an endless battle, each side fiercely committed to their cause. Each side recruiting more and more allies. Many Vikings joined the gnomes, but not all the Vikings followed suit. Some joined the knights. Many of the forest creatures joined the gnomes, for the gnomes are the protectors of the forest. But the halflings chose to stay neutral, for they are a peaceful race. As the years passed, the original reason for their conflict was lost to the sands of time. The knights, led by the courageous King Emilio, and the gnomes, commanded by the clever Crawley, continued their skirmishes out of sheer tradition. The knights, clad in their gleaming armor, trained relentlessly. They honed their skills with swords and shields, preparing for the next inevitable clash. King Emilio, a man of honor and valor, often wondered why they fought, but felt bound by duty to continue the struggle. On the other side, the gnomes, small but resourceful, used their wits and magical abilities to outmaneuver their larger foes. Crawley, with his sharp mind and knack for strategy, led his people with determination, though he too pondered the purpose of their endless war. One day, preparing for yet another battle, the knights and gnomes stood facing each other. The realization dawned upon them that they had long forgotten the reason for their endless battle. The leaders of both sides approached the center of the battlefield, their weapons lowered, and began to converse. The conversation grew intense, with voices rising and falling, hands gesturing wildly. The armies watched with bated breath, unsure of what would come next. The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the battlefield, and the air grew tense with anticipation. Just as it seemed they might reach an understanding, a sudden, mysterious wind swept across the land, carrying with it whispers of an ancient prophecy. The leaders paused, their eyes narrowing as they listened to the haunting echoes. The knights and gnomes exchanged uneasy glances, their hearts pounding with uncertainty. The leaders stepped back, their expressions unreadable, and the battlefield fell into a heavy silence. No one knew what the next day would bring. Would they find the courage to forge a truce? Or would the mysterious forces at play drive them back into conflict? The future hung in the balance, shrouded in mystery and suspense.